To this special class. I welcome everyone for this special class on 10 offenses of chanting. So, I don't know how many of you do remember the last class. So, we will quickly, do a recap of what we learned in the last class also. And before we begin, let's offer our prayers. We begin with Srila Prabhupada. I offer my respects to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is very dear to Lord Krishna. O spiritual master, I offer my respects to you, your servant of your Guru, Saraswati Goswami. You're kindly preaching the message of Lord Chaitanya and delivering the Western countries. Panchatattva mantra. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So a quick review, a quick recap of what we learned last time. So the purpose of chanting. What is the purpose? The main purpose behind chanting is to relieve ourselves from this repeated cycle of birth and death. That is, of course, the prime reason that we are chanting. And the second very important reason is that we want to develop our lost relationship with the Supreme Lord. So, as in many classes, I have been explaining again and again and again that we are actually eternally, we are God's children. We are actually, our purpose is to serve the Supreme Lord, like how we are serving our family members. You know, a wife is serving the husband, husband is serving the wife, and both are serving the children. Children, when they grow up, they are serving the parents, and we are serving our country, society. Similarly, our eternal relationship with the Supreme Lord Krishna is that our duty is to serve the Lord. So when we are chanting and when we come into this material world, we actually forget our relationship with Krishna. We only remember our desires, and we only remember the relationship of this world. Like I have taken birth in a particular family, so I will not remember my relationship with Krishna. I will only remember my relationship with my mother, father, children, husband, parents. But my eternal relationship, what is that eternal relationship? That is with Supreme Lord Krishna. Because every birth I take, Krishna is always there with me, within my heart. My other relationship changes in every birth, but Krishna's relationship with me never changes. He is always there with me. Whether I take as a human birth or I come as an animal or an insect, Krishna is always there within my heart. So when we are chanting, we slowly, remember that lost relationship because we have forgotten. By chanting, we are able to revive that relationship. And when we revive that relationship, slowly we develop love for Krishna. So, my dear friends, the purpose of chanting is, of course, to come out from the cycle of birth and death, but bigger purpose than that is be reviving our lost relationship with the Supreme Lord and developing love. Any relationship, it survive without love? So with the Supreme Lord, our relationship also is of love relationship. Whether you look at Krishna as your, friend or your father or your lover or whatever relationship you look at Krishna, love is the basis, right? So when we are chanting, our chanting should be pure chanting. And if it is not pure chanting, then we can never develop that love relationship with Krishna. Okay. So in order to develop that love, in order to understand our eternal relationship with Krishna, we must chant with purity. See, we all are chanting every day. Somebody is chanting one round, 1 to 16. On that scale, everybody is chanting. But are we chanting purely, or are we committing many, many mistakes? So these classes that I'm taking, like last class we did, and today is the second part, we are trying to learn what are the mistakes we do, which actually, instead of taking us closer to Krishna, we move away from Krishna. So these are very, very serious mistakes that we do. And it is very important to remember, it is always very important to, keep in mind that even when I'm not chanting, am I committing these mistakes? So if I'm committing these mistakes, my chanting can never be pure. And when my chanting is not pure, I can never develop love with Krishna. It may take many, many lifetimes. You may come hundreds of times in this world, come and go, but you will never be able to, develop that love, and you will never be able to go back to Krishna. So it is very important that we must all times remember and chant without these mistakes. And even when you're not chanting, we should always remember that we should not commit these mistakes, right? So, in the 10 important offenses or important mistakes that we do, so we'll begin what we did for the last time. So, I will not explain in detail. You can always go and look at see the recording again. I will just quickly see the headings. So the first one was, we should never curse or criticize or say anything bad about those people who are devotees of Krishna. So somebody is a big devotee, somebody is also worshipping Krishna like you are trying to please Krishna by your service. The other person is also trying to please Krishna. That person is also a devotee. And if you're criticizing that person, if you're talking bad about that person, then Krishna will also not forgive you. Okay, so the solution for that is you have to go and apologize to that person if you have committed some mistake. If you have offended that person, if you have spoken bad about that person, then Krishna will not forgive. Even if you say sorry to Krishna, Krishna will say you go and say sorry to the person that whom you have offended. Right? So point number one, more very, very and most important, it is on the top of the list. Please never offend a Vaishnava or never offend a devotee of Supreme Lord. In fact, on this, there is a very interesting story of Amrish Maharaj. So we'll take it up on some separate session, that how this point is very, very valid. This point, the story totally fits in on point number one, what we have just learned, right? So point number two, we learned uh, thinking that demigods like Lord Shiva or Brahma are at the same level as Lord Vishnu or Krishna. So they are different level, they are at the lower level, and we cannot put them at the same level as Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Lord. And if we think that they are at the same level, then that is a big offense. That is a big mistake that we are doing. So at the same time, what we should do, so we should seek forgiveness. We should say sorry while we are chanting that, oh God, please forgive us that I treated you, your name at the same level as Shiva's name or Lord Brahma's name. So basically, we need to seek forgiveness from the Supreme Lord's name. When we are chanting, say that, "Oh holy name, oh Hare Krishna Mahamantra, please forgive me. I was ignorant and I could not understand this, but now I know. Please forgive me." Right? So they are not at the same level. That is a big mistake. If you're doing, then your chanting will never be pure. Moving on to point number 3. If you have a guru, and if he's given you some order, if you disobey his orders, then that again becomes a very, very serious offense, very, very serious mistake. So for that, we have to humbly, with a very humble approach, we have to go to our guru, and we offer our respects to the guru, and we ask for forgiveness. We have to straight away approach, like in point number 1, we offended somebody, some Vaishnava or some devotee of the Lord. And so we have to go to that person and seek forgiveness. Similarly, in point number 3 also, if we are not following the orders of our Guru, then we have to, seek forgiveness from him only. We have to say sorry. We have to approach our Guru and say, "I am sorry, and I will never repeat this mistake again of disobeying your order." So that was point number 3. Point number 4, we so many Vedic literature is there. Bhagavad Gita is there, Bhagavatam is there, and many other literatures are there. And if we don't believe in them, we feel that it is just some kind of imagination, then that again is a very big mistake. And if we don't believe in those books, like whatever Krishna is saying, "I'm Supreme Lord" in that book. And if you don't believe it, thinking that it is just some kind of imaginative story. Some people think that Bhagavad Gita is just a story. It is not truth. So if you give your disrespect to those books, then again you are doing a big offense. And when you do that mistake, your chanting will never be pure. Right? So can you see the connection? There is a connection between your, criticizing your some devotee, or disobeying your guru, or not believing in scriptures, or treating Lord Shiva and Brahma at the same level as Krishna. All these things have a direct impact on the quality of your chanting. So if you do these mistakes, your chanting will become impure. So are you able to understand the relation? When we are doing these mistakes, then our chanting will become impure. Our chanting will not have the effect. Like I discussed the effect, why we are chanting, what is the purpose. So we will not achieve that purpose at all. So then the entire hard work that we are doing to please Krishna, it will fail. And the fifth one, the last one that we did in the last class, to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be just some imagination. So, many people, when we preach, when we go out and we distribute Bhagavad Gita and we talk to new people, they will say, "Oh, what is so great about this mantra? There are so many mantras, like Shiva's is there, Durga Ma mantra is there, or Ganesha mantra is there, and so many mantras are there. It is just some other mantra. What is the big thing about it? It is just, some kind of some kind of a story. There is no truth in it." When we think like that, if we are thinking like that with that kind of idea in mind, then again our chanting becomes zero. Our effort of chanting, whatever we are, the piety that we are adding in our life by chanting, it totally becomes waste. So we have to trust that yes, the Hare Krishna mantra is the supreme mantra, and it is not different from Krishna, and it is the topmost mantra. So if we don't believe that, if you think it is just some imaginative story, then it is a big offense we are doing. Again, we need to apologize to the Lord. We need to seek forgiveness from the Hare Krishna mantra itself. So that is what we covered in our last class. So we are now going to move to point number 6. So is it clear till now, or you want me to repeat any point?
We can continue, Mataji.
Okay, fine. So we're coming to point number 6. Uh, People think that so the point number 6 is that we think that this holy name or this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, it is it doesn't purify us. Though there are many people who think, okay, we will chant, but it doesn't purify us. It is some kind of some kind of a chemical reaction in the brain, and it will simply produce some kind of effect in us. But uh, so there are many people who don't even think that Krishna is has a form. Have you ever seen people saying that Krishna, God doesn't has a form. God is formless. And these name like Rama and Krishna, it is just some imagination. So have you ever seen people talking like that? That there are these names are just some imagination. It is not truth. God is just imagination. So those kind of people are actually again doing a big offense to Lord's name. When we think that this mantra, this Hare Krishna mantra, Krishna or Rama, they're all imaginative people, then, my dear friends, again we are committing a big and a very serious offense against the name. And thinking like this, we are chanting, then that chanting becomes useless. Right? So, have you understood this point? That thinking that his name or Krishna's form, Krishna has no form, Krishna is some light, God is just some light, and Lord Ram, Lord Krishna, they are just some light. There is no real form to it. It's not a person. God is just a light. And this mantra is also, it is some kind of a, just imagination. So when we think like that, although we are chanting, and at the same time we are thinking that it is just imaginated, then it is a big offense, and we need to discuss it with devotees. So how do we uh, say sorry, or how do we seek forgiveness? And the way is that we approach the devotees, like you would be knowing anybody who is in the temple, or you can talk to me, and you have to say that Mataji, I am very sorry, because I used to think that Krishna has no form and it is just an imagination, and I know it, and I seek forgiveness. So when you discuss it with some devotee and you seek forgiveness, then Lord forgives you, and then you can start fresh, thinking that no, Krishna has a form. It is not an imagination. And the holy name or the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is a very, very powerful mantra. So is that okay? Can we move on? Okay. Point number 7. Now, it is a very, very critical point. Listen, pay a lot of attention to this point. So we all know that when we are chanting, our sins get removed, right? What have I've been talking for many months and years altogether, that because we are chanting, our all previous karmas, bad karmas, are all the sins that we have done are all, Lord removes all of them. Now you know that Lord removes all these sins, right? So now suppose you have found some. Uh, this is a great idea. Chanting Hare Krishna mantra removes my sins, so which means I can do more sins. Now I will, cheat. I will cheat somebody. I will take away all the money. I will capture somebody's land, or I will, kill somebody. And after doing it, I will chant this mantra. Then Krishna will remove my sins. Because now I know that by chanting, my sins are removed, which means I can do more sin. And when I do more sins, again Krishna will remove. So thinking like that is a very big, big mistake. You think that because of chanting, I will become free from my sins. That is very, very wrong thought. That does not happen. Because if you are doing sinful activities, thinking that Krishna will remove my sins again, then that is a big, big mistake. So that is point number 7. We must, understand to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy names. So to commit sins, you expect that again, this chanting will, make my sins zero. So Prabhupada, he would often repeat that this is the greatest offense. So if you have taken shelter, if you have surrendered to Krishna's name, if you have taken shelter of holy name, you should strictly restrain yourself from committing more sinful activities. Like, for example, somebody is, uh, very, very used to lying. Every now and then that person speak a lie. So he will think, okay, lying is bad, I know. But since I'm chanting, it's okay. Krishna will, remove my sins again. So thinking like that is 100% wrong. And Prabhupada has warned us that if you think that, of course, whatever happened is in past, it has happened because at that time you were not aware of it, right? You were not aware of this chanting and the power of chanting that it removes the sins. But now you all know that chanting removes our sins. Knowing it, if you do more sins, then that becomes a blunder. It becomes a very, very serious mistake. And if you do that, then Krishna will not take away your sins. Then you will be punished. Right? So it's a very, very serious offense. Make note not to do any sinful activity thinking because I am chanting, so Krishna will take away all my sins. So that was point number 7. Is it clear? Can I move on?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. Move on to point number 8. To consider that chanting of Hare Krishna is some kind of a, some kind of a rituals, like how rituals are there, like some doing some sacrifice, हवन, जैसे हम लोग घर में हवन करते हैं शुद्धि के लिए, ऐसे हम करते हैं हवन की. If you do havan, then our house will become purified. Or we go to some pilgrimage. And when we go to some pilgrimage or take bath in Ganga, we think that, we again I have become purified. If I do some, havan or some fire sacrifice, all my sins, all the negativity is removed from my house. Or if I go and take a bath in Ganga, my sins are removed. If I go to some pilgrimage like, Kedarnath, Badrinath, or some many other pilgrimage, Rameshwaram, I think that, I become purified. Now, to place this chanting at the same level as these kind of activities is again very, very sinful. It's very, very, it's a big mistake. So if you think that Whether I chant sitting at home or whether I take a bath in Ganga are at the same level, then that again is a mistake. That again is a very big offense. We cannot keep both the things at the same level. We cannot keep the Havan in my house or visiting a pilgrimage at the same level. Both, we cannot compare the chanting of Hare Krishna at the same level as these kind. Or, for example, meditation. Many people, do a lot of serious meditation. They will, some people will, yogis will go to the forest and they will meditate for years. Or if you would have seen that people roll on the road and they visit the temple, or they visit the temple with bare feet. They don't wear any shoes or slippers and they go to the temple. Hundreds of kilometers they'll walk barefoot. So if you think that these things are at the same level as chanting, then that becomes an offense. Because chanting is the purpose of chanting is to attain love for Krishna. Other things does not give you love for Krishna. If you think I will go and take a bath in Ganga and I will get love for Krishna, or I will walk barefoot to Vrindavan, I will get love for Krishna, it will not happen. We cannot put that at the same level. So, do you understand that these other activities that we do, you know, taking a bath in Ganga or going to some pilgrimage or doing meditation in the forest or many things, there are hundreds of things they or doing a fire sacrifice at home or calling some brahmin at home and doing some big yagya. If you think all these things are at the same level as chanting, then you're doing a very big mistake. It's a very big offense. So for that we must approach some devotee and we should try to understand our relationship with Krishna, because if we want to strengthen our relationship with Krishna, then none of these things, meditation, going to taking a bath in Ganga or doing fire sacrifice, nothing can connect you back to Krishna except chanting. If we want to develop our relationship with Krishna, for example, as I often quote this example that if there is a boy who has forgotten his father, how will he remember his father? Only when he personally connect with father, right? Not by approaching some relative or doing some other trick. The way for a son to have re-established his connection with his father is to directly approach the father. Similarly, if we want to connect with Krishna again, then we need to directly connect with Krishna, and that the only way to connect with Krishna is chanting his names and no other way. Not by meditation, not by walking without slippers to the temple, not by doing fire sacrifice at home, not by taking a bath in Ganga. They are not at the same level. Are you people understanding? Only way to connect with Krishna, the only way to get Krishna's love is to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And if you think other things are at the same level, then it becomes a very, very serious mistake. So for that, we need to attend these classes. We need to understand our relationship with Krishna. We need to understand that none of these things are at the same level, and then only we will be able to get Krishna's love. Then only we can re-establish our connection with Krishna, that lost connection with Krishna. So is that clear?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. We move on to point number 9. So some of you, I'm sure, uh, who would be having friend circle or who are working out, I'm sure you would be discussing that how you are connected to ISKCON and you are attending classes and you are you are learning a lot of good things about God. So I'm sure you would be talking to other people and trying to explain to them, like the other day I was talking to Madhura and like or Kala or Nandini. They go out and they try to explain to other people about Krishna. So when you do that, I'm sure you would be finding a lot of such people who have no faith, who speak bad about Krishna, or whom I was saying that how they think that Krishna has no form, Krishna is just imagination. So when you meet such people, it is recommended that please do not preach to such people. So when you go out and like how many times you would have seen that ISKCON devotees are dancing and chanting on the street. So we meet a lot of people who are faithless, who have no faith in God. So it is recommended that please do not preach to such people. Then what do you do? You want to give Krishna to them. What do you do? Okay, then just give prasad. Don't preach them. Okay, because prasad is very, very powerful. That's it. But don't tell them that Krishna is supreme, Krishna you should chant. No. If you find that the other person is faithless, he has no faith in God, he has no faith in Krishna, or he says any bad things about ISKCON or Krishna, then please politely move away from such people. Politely say thank you, Hare Krishna, move on, just give them prasad and move on. Don't try to convince such people. Is that clear? So because when we do such things, we will spoil our own faith also. We will disturb our own bhakti also. Right? So just take a back step and give them prasad and let them go to their own way. Don't disturb them. We do not we do not preach, we do not try to convince the faithless people or people who talk bad about Supreme Lord, because that is a very big offense. We should not have any kind of association with such people. Is that clear? If you find that they are positive and they want to listen to you and they want to participate in the classes, or they are eager to understand your point, then good, then move on. But if not, if you feel they are faithless, they don't like Krishna, they don't like God, then politely move on, just give prasad and move on. Rest, their mind change, prasad will take care. Now we move on to the last point. So we get to understand that by uh, chanting is not for getting any material things. Like I want, a good job, so I should chant this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So this mantra is not for that. If you think, if I chant this, I will get some nice or good job, or a good car or a bungalow. Sorry, you will not get all these things by chanting. The purpose of chanting is to purify your heart. The purpose of chanting is to attain love for Krishna. The purpose of chanting is to stop this cycle of birth and death. So even after knowing that chanting is not for material things, if you continue to engage in material things, then it is again becomes a big mistake, again becomes a big offense. So we should have humble heart. We should have a service attitude. We should try to free ourselves from these material things. Like how we should realize that we should slowly start distancing us from this material thing. So if I have so many desire to to acquire more and more money, then slowly I should step back from those desires and develop more and more love for non-material things, like having more interest in classes, or having more interest in uh, serving in the temple, or chanting, or doing some service to the Lord, and not having too much of attraction for material things, because chanting is not for that purpose. So if you still believe that yes, by doing chanting I will get these material things, then that becomes again an offense. So have complete faith. The point is, we are discussing these offenses, is that you have to have 100% faith that yes, uh, by chanting, I will get love for Krishna. Krishna will look at me and bless me and give his mercy to me. So when we are chanting, we are actually inviting Krishna. We are calling out to Krishna. Whereas if our mind is thinking of some material things, then Krishna does not enter our life. At the same time, if we are while chanting, if we are reading something on the phone, or we are trying to chat with somebody else, on different things, then again chanting will become useless. So having complete faith on Krishna, on the holy name, or on chanting means with full focus, with full attention, without any distraction, without looking at your phone, without reading anything, a book, or without talking to, or signing anything with your friends. 100% concentration. Focus all your mind and energy and attention on chanting. Then slowly you will be able to develop pure chanting. And when that happens, slowly you start developing love for Krishna. So is it getting clear? So, do not watch phone while chanting, do not talk to other people in the house, do not read anything while you're chanting. So all those things become mistakes, all those things become offenses, right? So this is where we end today's class. And these are the 10 offenses which we do when we do these mistakes, which means we are committing offense for the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So please be careful. I would request you to save these recordings and please watch them again and again, because unless you watch them again, it will not enter your mind. It will not enter you. You will forget it after some time. So if you want to 100% remember, then please watch these recordings again and again. Save them somewhere in your phone. Save the link somewhere in your phone. So maybe next to next class, we might discuss these points again. So it is very important that you remember all these points. So we can take questions.
Take 2-3 minutes, Mataji.
Yeah, we can chant meanwhile. So we are back. I spotlighted you. Hare Krishna. Saurabh,
Sorry. Yes, Mataji. I
I've
spotlighted.
spotlighted.
Acha, are you doing it, Mataji?
No, no, no. I was just chanting, so I spotlighted myself. I've removed and replaced you.
Okay.
So you can take up the questions.
Yes. Hare Krishna. Mataji, namaskar. So,
Oh, Anshuman is not spotlighted. Are you doing it? I'm not doing it.
he is spotlighted, Mataji.
He is. Okay, I'm not seeing him in the gallery view, speaker view. I'm not able to see him.
It is both of us are on spotlight, Mataji.
Okay, okay, my mistake then. Okay, continue.
Yeah, so once Mataji, we get to pure chanting and the Krishna love, if it comes. But I'm just trying to understand, Mataji.
Sure.
Hmm. Office, maybe, he's surrounded with negativity. And Anshuman, is very positive. He responds positively. And people sometimes think that Anshuman, he's a very good person. If there's gossip and, other things, I keep my mind away to it. I uh, focus on my own self. And if people ask me that why aren't you interested and why don't you want to know and stuff, I'm like, I'm not interested. I focus on my own work.
She's very good, very nice, actually good. So I actually brought a good, very something I actually should have mentioned. So thanks, Anshuman, for bringing out this point. So when we have a very good behavior, when we have a very good personal behavior, and in that personal behavior, we are also telling people to chant, then actually we set an example. So suppose you're chanting and at the same time you are getting irritated and you are all the time shouting at other people, then people will think that what is the use of all the time having a japa bag and chanting. So being being devotees, we are all trying to be devotees. So being devotees, it is very important that we have a good behavior, and so that through our behavior we can set an example for other people. So which is very good. If Anshuman minds his own work and doesn't involve in gossip, maybe people will keep away from him, but after some time they will realize that yes, he's a good person, he doesn't get involved in all nonsense of his politics. So it is very good that as a person who is following Krishna consciousness, all of us have a very good personal behavior. And from our behavior, we set an example. Then we can inspire more people in Krishna consciousness. So thank you so much, Anshuman. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Sorry, Mataji. I told Anshuman that, there are many hands
Yes,
and
yes, yes. Correct,
I
correct.
have
We
put.
can move on. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. So, so I'm doing chanting regularly. And, sometimes, these things come into my head. Or if they come into our head, that, this is all made up, this is all not, these things, if thoughts come to our head, we are supposed to try and block them and try and not have them in our mind, right? That's what we're going to do, Mataji.
No, we are going to increase our knowledge because thoughts will come. You cannot stop. It is good to have questions because if such kind of thoughts are coming into your mind, it will come. You cannot stop your mind, but you have to find their answers. You have to find out the answers to those questions. Only then your faith will become strong. Just blocking those thoughts is not a solution. Solution is to find an answer for them and to build up your faith, right? That is the correct process. Shutting them is not a solution.
So chapter 6 also, Mataji. Bhagavad Gita chapter 6 also, Mataji, there is something very similar. So that's what, I've also
Yeah,
tried.
chapter 6 talks about all this Ashtanga yoga where the person goes to the forest and meditates.
Yes, yes, Mataji. Focus on, positivity,
Correct. Correct,
y-
correct. Yes, yes.
negativity,
So-
better to focus on the positive things
Right.
because there'll be things which come into mind. Yes, something similar, Mataji, chapter 6.
Yes, yes.
The try to look at the positive things where automatically your brain, will then
So that's
reframe.
why when we are chanting, when we are associating with devotees, we don't have to put any extra effort to be positive. By chanting and by attending these classes, you will naturally become positive. You don't have to put any extra effort to be positive. You will naturally become like that. You will naturally develop all good qualities. You don't have to do any extra effort for it. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Mataji. So regarding my job, I do the chanting. If somebody, uh, hmm, it sometimes happens, Mataji. Sometimes, at work or when I'm on the way or during my work, somebody, would call me something, so it gets interrupted a little bit sometimes.
It is okay that we are surviving in this world. Uh, we have to take everything in our stride. We cannot totally shut ourselves. We're not in forest, right? We are living in this world, so we do need to interact. So at that time, do not get angry. Do not look irritated. Again, it will reflect bad on your own character. Be be smile. If somebody disturbs you, just stop your chanting for some time and smile. Halt it for some time. Then talk to that person and then move on. You should not show your irritation or anger. That's okay. Krishna understands because they do not know what you're doing. Only you understand.
Mataji, I don't get irritated and stuff.
Yes, that's good. That's very good, Vinita. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Zoom. Oh, Mataji, if you're doing chanting while we are watching these classes, is that allowed?
Mm, mm.
No, Mataji, but
Not allowed.
No, it's not allowed while watching the classes.
No, it's not allowed. Then you're not focusing on the name. You're not focusing on Krishna. You're focusing on the class. We're talking about undivided 100% attention on Krishna. Now your attention is divided between the class and the name. We're not supposed to do that. We're not supposed to watch TV, watch phone. Uh, Preferably do it when you're alone. So that is the time between you and Krishna.
Mataji,
Not
these
with.
classes, no TV, nothing, but these classes
Yes,
while we are
yes,
going,
I understand. We have specifically asked our seniors, can we watch the Aarti on the mobile, like, the morning Aarti or the evening Aarti? So I have personally discussed with my seniors, can we watch Aarti and do chanting? So that is also not allowed. So it is
makes
just
sense,
chanting.
Mataji.
Hmm.
Okay, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Mataji. So when I'm at home, I do 16 rounds, Mataji, regularly, but sometimes I go to college, sometimes I go out, I'm driving or in the auto or something like that. You know, the bag, we have the mala bag or something like that. Suppose I do 4 or 5 rounds, but sorry, 1 hour, 108. You know, if I'm outside, if I can do it. Oh, can I
See, we
interchange?
should,
Can I use this also? And when I'm back home, I
you
use this.
can, but since you're having beads, like Prabhupada would always say only on beads. Prabhupada never would say counter, or like in some emergency where you are at a place where you are, where you cannot hold a mala bag. Only very, very few exceptional cases, uh, where you're surrounded with people who just do not appreciate all this. And you have to chant, maybe somewhere, some place like that, or maybe some extra rounds you need to do. You finish your 16 and you want to do two more and you have time, even there you can use this counter. But Prabhupada would say only on beat bag. So try to finish your chanting while you are with full 100% attention at home or at a peaceful place, or even while doing morning walk also you can do. You're doing morning walk, but not with your family and friends where they are chatting with you, and not like that. If you're alone, you're going for a walk, you can do chanting, but not with somebody. So your focus should be on the chanting. And counter only in emergency, not as a routine, not as a practice.
Clear, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. The chanting, Mataji, which I'm doing every day, sometimes, it gets incomplete. So do we start from the beginning?
Yeah, so you need to add, and one go, you please finish 108. In one sitting, finish 108. In between, try not to give a break. After 108, you don't have time, leave the bag and come back to it again.
But sometimes, Mataji, if something happens, an emergency or an
Then you
urgency
have to
or something.
restart it. Then you have to restart it.
Okay, Mataji. Okay, clear. That's
Hare
what I
Krishna.
wanted.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Namaskar. So I'm doing 16 rounds and but I do it in about 50 minutes or so, 50 minutes to an hour, I think. But I try to do it as purely as possible. But uh, sometimes, my ears get hot and there's like heat or this warm, hot vapor or something like that coming out of my ears. During chanting, Mataji, it happens sometimes.
I have no clue about it. No idea. Why does it happen? I seriously, I have no idea about it. Biologically, maybe doctor can tell, or um, maybe Krishna is happy with you. Yeah, maybe. We can think it positively like that. But honestly, I'm not aware of it. I have no answer for it.
Hmm. It's not too much, but yeah, sometimes it does have it becomes hot.
Sorry, I have no answer to that question. Hare Krishna. Swarab, are you there on Sunday? The coming Sunday?
As he was doing less rounds, now he's doing more rounds. Mataji wants to.
Hari bol, Hari bol.
Last one question, Mataji.
Yeah, are you there on Sunday? I sent a message to Acharya. Will you be there?
Mataji, can I check and then inform you later?
Sure, sure. Because I would have taken all these questions on Sunday, just 2 days. Uh,
I'll have to check and inform you, Mataji.
sure, sure.
Neeta है Mataji's husband, I guess.
Ah,
Neem. Neem Mala Mataji.
okay.
So it's been a year. He's been doing 16 rounds on the Neem, and he can use that for life. Doesn't need to change it.
No,
Same
no,
Mala.
no, no, no need, no need. So one
Mm.
suggestion while we are discussing about these
Sometimes
names.
Mataji, we put to put ghee on the mala or something. Sometimes.
No, no. So what my suggestion is, now that you brought up this question, if any of you visit somewhere to Vrindavan, or if you visit Ganga, anywhere in India, if you wear Ganga, uh, give your beads a dip in that holy water. Like you take a dip in the Ganga, or you go to Vrindavan. Vrindavan also there are sarovars, there are small lakes and ponds are there. So take out your beads from the bag and give it a dip and keep it back. So it will increase your bhakti, it will increase your love for Krishna. So that all of you, whosoever is visiting the Ganga or any other holy river, give it a dip to your beads. Like how we take a dip in the Ganga, similarly you also give it a dip to the beads. And ghee and all, I'm not aware. We don't do that.
I think someone in the family, somebody went to Vrindavan and dipped that
Uh-huh.
his beads.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's good
So
to
that
use,
is good.
no?
That is good. Yeah, that is good. That we all should do.
He's
So
in
that's
UP
it.
now.
Uh-huh.
Guru. Guru has already said the holy words or something, Dikha has been given.
Uh,
He just कान में बोल के the way they do it. So
okay.
Is that okay? Can he continue his?
So we don't in ISKCON, we don't do that कान में बोलने वाली दीक्षा. Because in ISKCON we believe we have only one mantra. We have we have. He's not listening to you.
He says his will is different, so I'm saying ISKCON is different.
Yeah, so we don't. For us, there is only one mantra, and that there is no secret of that mantra. It is known to the entire world. So Mahaprabhu used to say that it is open to everybody. Let everybody be delivered. Let everybody come back to me. Krishna would say, let everybody come back to me. So why whisper in the air? What is the secret? Why God's name should be secret? God's name should not be secret. It should be known to everybody. That is why we chant Hare Krishna mantra, because it is known to everybody.
Sorry,
Why?
I would also request. I think he has something to add. When I'm doing Hare Krishna Mantra Madhuri, I'm doing 16 rounds. I take 2 hours and a half, four
Yeah, that
o'clock in the
takes, yeah,
morning.
takes a lot of time. But very good. Hari Bol. May Krishna give you his love and blessings. And to all of you who's there today,
Mataji,
thank you
I
so
sorry to
much.
time हो
Thank you
गया
so much for
यार.
joining. Oh, bye bye, Saurav. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. If Saurav is available, we'll have a class on Sunday. Otherwise, we'll see you next week. So I'll let you know if there is a class for Sunday. So to all those whose question is not answered, we'll take it up on the Sunday class. Please reserve your questions. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.